A mom took her kids' One Direction tickets away. She is selling them on eBay, and she is threatening her daughter.
She went for the jugular.
Hi, I'm Beck, and I'm also known as the 1D mum.
Okay, we'll start from the beginning. How would you describe the dynamic between you and I when I was growing up?
Well, you were my firstborn, and as a result, I was a bit of a helicopter parent. I had this inherent fear that someone was going to come and steal my baby. In response to that, you were quite an attached little girl. You were very affectionate as you were demanding. Your favourite thing to do was to perform for your family, so you'd hide in our curtain in the lounge room and your father would have to introduce you with quite theatrics, like introducing Bella Dawn Piscaneri.
Gentlemen, introducing the beautiful Bella Dawn Piscaneri.
And you'd appear into the lounge room and you'd do some dances and some singing and some attempted cartwheels for your family's entertainment.
This all began for my birthday present on my 12th birthday.
Yes, it did. It started when I purchased some One Direction tickets, or 4 in total, to take you to One Direction for your 12th birthday.
And did the concert spark your interest at all, or was it just purely for me?
Oh, look, I had not a great deal of interest in One Direction at the time. However, I did have interest in taking you and seeing your reaction to it. So I'd be lying if it was totally selfish. And I didn't tell your father because how am I explaining to your father that I just bought 4 tickets to go and see 1D in 12 months' time? We didn't want to rush you into a fangirl phase of your life. You led somewhat a sheltered lifestyle. You didn't watch TV during the week, you didn't have an iPad, you were just quite happy reading your books.
So you just didn't want me to grow up to be a bit obsessive?
No, not before your time. And that's why I decided to sell the tickets. So I went to eBay, which back then was a legit forum to sell concert tickets, and I decided that I wanted to write an ad that stood out from the other ads without having to pay for sponsorship of said ad. And I created a character that I thought would resonate with the demographic of the people that were looking for 1D tickets. So the character was loosely based on girls that were slightly older than you, and I found that in that age group at that particular time, in an age of more free-style parenting, that behaviours were being reflected in 16-year-old girls that weren't exactly desirable from a parent's point of view.
To kind of summarise what the ad was about, can you please give us a description of what you wrote?
The ad was from a perspective of a really pissed off mum, that she had bought these tickets for her teenage daughter and her daughter was still being a little bitch. And what it is too, and every parent can relate to it, it's like you give everything, you prioritise everything for your kids, and all you give us is attitude. This auction is for all 4 tickets to the One Direction in Sydney, October the 25th. You can thank my daughter's self-righteous and lippy attitude for their sale. See, sweetie? And you thought I was bluffing. I hope the scowl on your bitchy little friends' faces when you tell them that your dad and I have revoked the gift that we were giving you all reminds you that your parents are the one that deserve love and respect more than anyone. And your silly little pack mentality of taking your parents for fools is one sadly mistaken. Oh, your friends thought a few prank calls would pull me off selling the gift we bought them for your birthday because you all lied about sleepovers so you could hang like little trollops at an older guy's house? I think it was highly amusing that you girls think you invented this stuff. Tricks like this on our parents is how half of you were conceived, and why a lot of your friends don't have an address to send that Father's Day card to. I'm not your friend, I'm your mother. You may hate me now, but I don't care. It's my job to raise a responsible adult, not nurture bad habits in my teenage child.
Did you expect the ad to capture as much media attention as it did?
Look, if I'm being totally honest, I thought it might get a couple of shares because it was relatable. by no way means that I think that would explode like it did. Your father and I opened up our Outlook and there was over 40,000 emails waiting to come through via eBay. Well, your father's initial reaction was, "What have you done?" And I cried because I was so overwhelmed with the computer. Like back then, it was like just, and I was opening it, and then I just couldn't believe that people had bought this ad as a real life story when it was an ad. The general gist of the emails was people were supportive of my character, like, yeah, go get a mum, and there was a lot of response from media outlets wanting the story of the out-of-control teen and her mum. I think by the time I actually took it off, it was nearly $1 million and it had received over 1 million hits. So we received a lot of requests from the media wanting to have an interview with the out-of-control child, which obviously didn't exist. I had communications with the producer of Sunrise, who was aware of the circumstances of the ad. He knew that there was no out-of-control child. So the brief, to my understanding, was you and I are going to get interviewed, and it was going to be about the advert and its appeal to the general public and the support my characters got. However, once we were being interviewed on live TV, the interviewer asked me, "Do you think your punishment was unfair?" Reverted back to addressing me as if I was my character. My response was quite blunt. I did a bit of a shoulder throw and said, talking about someone as real as Rhonda and Katut, and that shut down that interview very quickly. So then that went on Sunrise's Facebook page, and from there, that's when the hate train started for our characters. Well, for me, calling me a liar, saying that I deserved to have my children taken off me, that I was an unfit parent. Initially, it made me feel quite shit, to be honest. I felt like maybe there was some truth to what they were saying, but then I wrote an ad and people bought the ad. I was selling, it wasn't a scam. I had the products to sell. I just wrote an ad on an advertising platform. You were oblivious to it. You had no idea until we went on Sunrise and we were in Tassie and I told you that we were going on TV and you wouldn't. And then I had to promise to take you to One Direction so you'd go on TV with me. So after all this, I still had to go to that concert in the nosebleed section.
Do you ever regret not taking the money from everyone that offered?
No, gosh, no, I couldn't sell my soul like that. And I couldn't project you out to be a naughty little girl. You're a saint. I couldn't do that. That's bad juju.